Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King and it's a pleasure to be once again at the Paloma Blanca Boutique Hotel. We have a very diverse lineup of guests once again this week, and I'm very much looking forward to you meeting them all because everyone brings something special to our international community. Well, let's get started with the show. This week's Marbella Now. Hey, hey. I'm really delighted to introduce to you Marc, Elliott from Fluent Finance Abroad. He was meant to be on the show last week, but his little boy got poorly. But then on Thursday, I went to the Danish Consul's Just Law's business breakfast talking about the new complaints laws, and guess who I met? Marc was there, and it was like, I saw your card on the table, it was like, oh my God, where are you? So nice to see you again, Marc.
Thank you for the invite. Nice to see you too, Nicole.
Is your little boy better?
He's much better now.
I'm pleased to hear it. Yeah, because it's really going around. Everyone's catching it, passing it on to everybody else.
Well, he's only 16 months.
Oh, bless.
So he's catching absolutely everything because he's going to the guarderia, the nursery, so bringing home everything as well. So,
how long have you lived in Spain?
I've lived in Spain now coming on close to 16 years.
Oh, really? And what brought you over in the first place?
Well, I've got family in Spain. My mum's Spanish, so I've been coming to Spain all my life. But I was offered a job first and foremost, so hence I came over at that time.
Was it because you spoke Spanish?
Well, yeah, there's a number of things. The job I do is in finance, specialise in mortgages. So previous to coming to Spain, I worked in London in the mortgage industry, so I was qualified from the UK. And because obviously I have that skill and the language skill, the company that brought me over thought it was a good idea if I came and used all the skills that I have in order to be able to work in the Spanish mortgage market. And
are you based here in Marbella, or have you always been in this area?
I've always been in Marbella. Our current office is in San Pedro. We've been in San Pedro now for 6 years. So so always in Marbella, always on the Costa del Sol.
When I moved to Madrid in the 90s, mortgages were unheard of. Everybody rented. There weren't the facilities for the average person to get a mortgage. A lot's changed, hasn't it? To bring us where we are today.
Well, it's the same all over. Well, in the UK as well. It was pretty difficult to get a mortgage back in the 70s, 80s. But yeah, the banking system now is a bit more open, and mortgages are readily available. It's had some bad press in the last decade, obviously with
the crisis must have affected the
credit crisis. Yeah.
The loaning. Lending ability.
Yeah, massively. I mean, when I came to Spain 15 years ago, I worked in London, and that was under regulation. So we had the FCA, the FSA at the time, which is a Financial Services Authority that regulated mortgages. And I came to Spain, and there was no regulation at all. And I have to say, I was pretty shocked at how Spanish banks were giving money out. And that essentially that's what they were doing. They were just handing money out to anyone and everyone. And obviously we've seen that that's not the best policy because obviously we've had a really bad hit on the construction in Spain, along with Italy and Portugal and Ireland and Greece. Spain was part of what they call the pig countries of Europe.
What an insult to the pigs.
Pretty much, yeah. yeah. It's a bit bad, but so when I came here, it was a bit of a free for all. Basically, all you needed was a passport and a pulse, and you got a mortgage. Really, that's not the case now, though.
That's a shame. So, what are the kind of basic requirements for a mortgage?
What are the basic requirements? Well, first and foremost, you need to. The most important thing is to have a deposit.
What kind of percentage are they looking at?
It depends on if you're a resident in Spain, pay taxes in Spain, or if you're non-resident. If I could go on for quite a while, but for example, if you're from an EU country like France or Germany or Britain, you would generally need to bring in around about 30 to 40% as a deposit. And then you have to factor in closing costs as well. If you come in from the US, for example, which is outside of the EU, you probably have to bring in a bit more funds because you're deemed as a slightly higher risk. But if you're resident in Spain, you're 20% is generally what you should be.
Okay, so save the good news till last. Yeah. if someone's looking at a property, they come to you, and then basically you just take over and you do all the negotiations and what have you?
Okay, well, I look at, if you're going to buy a property, it's not like going to buy, I don't know, a kitchen or a sofa. It's quite a big financial commitment. We always believe that it's wise to get your finances in order first, so you know what your limits are and what your maximums are. So we would go through the process with you, understand, let you know, explain to you how it all works, go through some figures to ensure that you, as a client, as a buyer, know exactly what your budget is. So when you're touring or when you're looking at properties, that you're actually looking at properties that you're comfortable in buying. So when you do make an offer, number one, that you can actually, well, you can buy it, and number two, that your finances are all pretty much organised, which is.
And I suppose reading the small print is fundamental to make sure that you're not signing away to, like, the interest rates can be one of the things you really need to look out for.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, financial products like mortgages are quite complex. There's a hell of a lot of legal jargon within them, and there are lots of laws that you need to be aware of, and we are experts in that. You know, I myself have just passed the Spanish mortgage exam, which has just come in June.
So there are legislations now?
There are new legislations that came in this year, which Fluent Finance Abroad, my company, I'm very proud to say that we're on top of it all and we're fully compliant. But yeah, signing up to a mortgage contract with a particular bank is not something you should enter into lightly. And you do need, especially if it's not your first language, even if it is your first language, you're not going to understand all the rules and regulations. So you, in my opinion, you should always get an expert to guide you through that and make sure that the expert uses their knowledge, their experience and their contacts within the lenders to ensure that you're actually signing up to something which is suitable for your circumstances. Because if you do get it wrong,
it'll be very costly.
It can be very costly.
It can be very costly.
Exactly,
well, big
right.
thank you to Manifesto Design for sending along this lovely gentleman. We finally made it, and I think it sounds like makes good sense. If you're going to buy a property and you're looking for a mortgage, contact Marc Elliott of Fluent Finance Abroad, or someone similar, to make sure that you don't pay the price, a big price, in the long run for not having made a simple call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so happy that our guests this week on Marbella Now 239 all want to contribute with our charities, and we start off with Carlos Barres of Barres Luxury Properties, donating to...
No time to hesitate. We are...
In addition to the fabulous insurance that you get with Línea Directa, being a Spanish company, they cover you by all the local Spanish laws, plus they have a fleet of tow trucks, mechanics, garages, hotels, lawyers, whatever you need. Línea Directa truly do cater to our expats' needs, and all we can say is yes, thank you very much. This is a really nice option to make sure we keep ourselves very safe. If you want more information on this, please go to their website, lineadirecta.com, or call them on 952 14 78 34. That's 952 14 78 34, because Línea Directa are putting your safety first. We're now inside the exhibition center, Palacio de Congresos. We have the lovely Marietta and Susan from the British Consul there, ready to give out information, and obviously the team from the town hall. There's a nice turnout, lots going on inside here, getting ready for lots of different things happening, different events. Let's go inside, take a look.
We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One. We are at one.
I've just grabbed Charmaine Arbouin, a fabulous British consul from the Brexit talk that's arranged by our Marbella Town Hall, to help us drill with this transition that we don't even know what's happening, Charmaine. So well done on talking a lot about nothing. So we know anything.
I love the way you say my name.
Thank you. Been practicing that for years.
So, where are we up to? We all thought we were going to be leaving on the 31st of October, and we haven't left. So, essentially, we don't really know what's going to happen until the general elections are over. So, the 12th of December is the date of the elections. On the 13th of December, that's when things begin to become clearer about what the likely outcome is. I'm not really allowed to talk about, people will know that there's a period of purda. I think in Spain you have 1 day of reflexión. In the UK we have 6 weeks, so I'm not allowed to talk about the political possibilities and I can't talk about future policies. But I think everybody knows that there are at least 3 different scenarios where the Conservatives, if they get a majority or if they have enough of a majority, they will want to go ahead with the withdrawal agreement that was signed off in July with the European Union, and we would leave as soon as possible, but no later than the 31st of January 2020. Labour have said that if they have a majority, they will send us to a second referendum so that we can decide on what happens next. The Liberal Democrats have said that if they have a majority, they will revoke Article 50 and we won't have a Brexit. So I'm not a futurologo. I have absolutely no idea about what is going to happen, and all that I can say to people is do what you need to do, make sure that you're registered as resident, make sure that you have your healthcare sorted out, change your driving licence, look at your passport. All of those things will stand you in good stead whether we leave, whether we don't leave, whether we leave with a deal, whether it's without a deal. They're things that you just need to do.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Summed up beautifully. Go to www.gov.co.uk for further details, and you can sign up for a newsletter that will make sure you're updated on the different changes as they come.
Perfect.
Charmaine Arbouin, merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
you.
It again.
We've just had a chat with our British Consul, but before we finish the Brexit event here at the Exhibition Centre, I've got Manuel and Bernard and Immaculada, who are from UHY Fay and Company, not with Miriam today. Hello Miriam, we miss you. And Remedios, who is the counsellor for foreign residents in Marbella. Guys, how do you think it went? It was interesting, a lot of different questions. Bernard, how was it? Do you find the event?
Well, I think the first thing we need to appreciate is the initiative of the Marbella Council, because not many councils worry about their foreign residents the way the Marbella Council is doing. And I think that's something we should be proud of.
Thank you, Remedios, and Otti, and team.
Our team.
It's a superb team. And Manuel, you were sitting in the audience.
Yeah, thank you.
But there is a lot of questions that us foreigners have, and it's very difficult when we have no information.
Yeah, one of the main problems of the foreign and the audience of today was that they have no information about the drive license and all the taxes. And today has been a really practical audience. Yeah.
Exactly. So although we don't know much, we do know what we need to be doing. And I can't thank you guys enough. It's been really an informative afternoon. Thank you. Remedios Bocanegra is our counsellor for foreign residents in Marbella, and she just happens to be the sister of Ricardo Bocanegra, who is the first gestor, I think, to deal with any foreigners in Marbella, and his very own plaza named after him by the Supercore there, isn't it? Just in the right near by the Marbella. Remedios, well done. It's been a fabulous event. Are you happy?
Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy. I think that this kind of conference is very necessary and interesting to answer all the questions to the good citizen.
And Ricardo, after all these years, we don't seem, as the Brits, to have learnt very much about registering on the padron, taking out residency. You must be very frustrated with us, or very happy that we're good for business.
Well, I would like to say that it is not a tragedy. It will be quite easy. Fortunately, the law has established a transitional period during which it will be possible for all British citizens who are resident in Spain will be able to regularize their situation very easily. So don't worry at all, because there will be a long transitional period to arrange all the paperwork. My advice is, if you didn't get the residence permit yet, I am talking regarding British, of course. You should apply for it as soon as possible, in any case before the end of the transitional period, and this way you will be able to take advantage of getting the resident card in the future.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and I have to say that even though my Spanish is good and I know how to do things here, getting a gestor or somebody who really knows how to do it for you is very advisable. So thank you for all your years of dedication to us as well. And Remedios, best of luck dealing with us all in your new position. Gracias, thank you.
It's a brand new